The TV signal stutters, the sound warps. Then a flat tone cuts through your living room like a knife. An emergency broadcast fills the screen. Calm voice, dead eyes, telling you to remain indoors, comply with all directives, await further information. You step outside and see it. Armored personnel carriers parked at the entrance to your subdivision like metal animals squatting on your street. Soldiers in helmets, rifles angled down but ready, scanning faces like they're scanning targets. Then you go to the grocery store, and the parking lot is a checkpoint. IDs out, trunks open, hands visible, live ammunition on every chest. A teenager behind you whispers, "They can't do this." And you feel it, that reflex to argue, to cite the law, to say the words that used to work. This is where people get hurt. Not because they're criminals, because they believe in a fairy tale, the Constitution Fallacy. 99% of civilians believe their rights are immutable. They try to debate a soldier at a checkpoint. They film the encounter thinking the camera protects them. That phone is not a shield, it's a flare. And when you flare yourself in a martial law environment, you don't get a court date. You get processed, detained, disappeared, or dropped on the asphalt because somebody's rules of engagement changed after dark. Most people think, my rights will save me. The science says otherwise. In a martial law scenario, the Constitution is not paused, it is deleted. The soldier is not a police officer. He is a biological weapon of the state. Your job is not to win an argument. Your job is to survive a world where habeas corpus no longer exists, and one mistake gets innocent people taken anyway. Later, because you need the diagnosis first, you have a bias, justice bias. You're conditioned to believe that if you are innocent, you are safe. If you comply, the system will be fair. Under martial law, innocence is irrelevant. Only compliance is measured. This is what philosophers call the state of exception. When the state feels threatened, it suspends the law to save itself. In that condition, you are no longer a citizen with political rights. You are bare life, biological matter that can be managed, detained, or eliminated without trial. That's not drama. That's history. That's how emergency powers work when fear takes the wheel. So you make the hardest mental shift of your life. Instantly, from citizen to subject. A subject does not argue. A subject does not perform outrage for an audience that cannot help. A subject survives by being unremarkable and by letting ego die before the body does. Now you follow the subject protocol like you follow gravity. First, curfew logic. The kill zone. Martial law runs on a temporal algorithm. The night belongs to the state. During curfew, rules of engagement often shift from detain to engage. You do not test that shift with your body. Your day ends 60 minutes before the official curfew. Being on the way home is not an excuse. It is a risk factor. If curfew is at 20:00, you are home, quiet and dark by 19:00. Light discipline becomes law in your house. If your windows glow during curfew, you are signaling activity. Activity is suspicion. Suspicion is attention. Blackout curtains are mandatory. No TV glow. No phone flashlight in a window. No kitchen light leaking through blinds. Now the door rule, the one that saves families. If they knock at night, you do not open the door, not because you're brave, because opening creates a negotiation, and negotiations at night can turn into extractions. You stay silent. You stay still. You let them decide if it's worth breaching. If they breach, submission is immediate. No sudden movements. No questions, no reaching. You become furniture until the storm passes. Ego dies or you do. Second, make your home a sterile domain. Contraband sanitization. Warrantless search and seizure is the defining feature of martial law. If you look like a threat, you will be treated like one. Tactical gear, radios, excess food stacked like you're planning for war. That reads as insurgent logistics. You are not trying to be right. You are trying to be overlooked. So you build a gray house, decoy cash, keep a small amount of food and water visible. The kind of amount a normal frightened family would have. Hide the bulk. Behind false walls, in attic voids, under disguised panels. Anywhere that does not scream inventory. You do not want to look wealthy in a famine economy, and you do not want to look organized in a rebellion economy. Gear sanitization. Hide the camo. Hide the plate carriers. Hide the helmets. Hide the comms. Your home should look like a frightened average family, not a command center, digital scrub. Soldiers check phones at checkpoints, they scroll fast, they look for flags, delete encrypted apps, delete survival PDFs, delete anything that reads like coordination or resistance. Not because knowledge is wrong, because visibility is lethal. If you want the knowledge, print it, hide it, make it boring. Third, checkpoint theater, behavioral submission. A checkpoint is a high-stress biological bottleneck. The soldier is exhausted, scared, and flooded with cortisol. Finger on the trigger, brain running threat detection at full volume. Your anxiety will be interpreted as guilt, sweating, stuttering, over-explaining, reaching for your wallet too fast, so you become predictable in the safest way. Hands. Always visible. If you are driving, hands on the wheel 10 and 2. If you are walking, palms open at chest level, no digging in pockets, no surprise movements. The script. Answer only what is asked. Yes, sir. No, sir. Do not offer information. Do not volunteer your opinion. Do not joke. Jokes are for safe societies. This is not one. Now the eyes. Look at their chest, not their eyes. Hard eye contact can be read as a challenge. Looking away can be read as evasion. So you look at the rank insignia area. You look like you're listening. You look like you're processing instructions. You keep your face neutral. You keep your voice flat. You do not film, because filming is not accountability in that moment. It is escalation. And you cannot appeal to law in a state that has declared itself above law. Now the moral cost, because surviving martial law is not just a tactical problem. They will build a snitch culture, rewards for information, extra rations, leniency, a pass through a checkpoint. Hungry people will sell truth for soup. Day by day, the friendly neighbor becomes an informant, not because they're monsters, because they're desperate. And the state knows exactly how to buy desperation. So you become an island, share nothing. Discuss nothing political, no speeches, no rants. No, they can't do this at a dinner table with thin walls. The walls have ears, and the ears are hungry. Remember this. Your survival depends on obeying reality, not memory. The Constitution is dead in practice. Do not cite it. Martial law is not a debate club. Obey the hard clock. Your day ends early, your house goes dark, the night belongs to them. Sanitize the home. Hide the gear, hide the bulk, look average, look afraid. Master the checkpoint. Hands visible, words minimal, movement slow, eyes controlled. And the mistake that gets innocent people taken anyway is ego. Ego makes you correct the soldier. Ego makes you argue. Ego makes you perform freedom in a cage. Martial law is a test of ego. The people who die are the ones who insist on being free in a cage. The ones who survive are the ones who realize freedom is a luxury, but breathing is a necessity. Be the gray man, be the ghost. Let the heroes argue with the rifles. The world is fragile. When it breaks, it doesn't ask your permission. If you want to keep training while you still can, stay with mortal logic. The state is watching, so you should be watching back, quietly.